issue you mentioned about the firms hired to work on your behalf on the referendum, though as you say, it's public record and you didn't have to disclose that publicly, given the fact that it's a sensitive issue, would it have been a wise thing to just come right out in front and say you hired these firms?
Well, first of all, the Taft firm was hired late last year, last fall actually. We used them simply to help us explore whether or not it was a piece of legislation that the state legislature would even consider talking about. We felt it was in our best interest to see if it was even worthy of us continuing. After they came back and said that the legislature would be open to discussing and debating the issue, but we needed some additional facts and figures, that's when we commissioned the two studies to be done on the financial impact and the social impact. And as a result of those, and talking to our citizens, we felt, and I take personal responsibility for, after I read those reports and talked to the citizens, that we needed to pursue a referendum for our community, that the decision was much more than my decision to make. We needed to ask the entire community. So we engaged another firm who had experience in working with the legislature on the referendums and asked them to help us in that matter. We knew it was going to be a difficult challenge because obviously, you all know this from all of your work, that the legislature was faced with a number of challenges this year. So we knew it was going to be a difficult task. So we needed to really utilize all the tools that we had available to us to make sure that the needs and wants and desires of the citizens of Fort Wayne would be properly represented.
Do you think, given the fact that the referendum wasn't approved, do you think that the consultants or the lobbyists were a good use of the money?
I believe so. I really do, because if nothing else, I think that the legislators who they talked to, and incidentally, I was down there several times. I was afforded the opportunity to go down there several times and meet with our representatives and meet with our senators and walk the halls with our consultants who shared with me their conversations with our legislators. So all of our legislators knew that we were using consultants and advocates working on our behalf because, quite frankly, although I would have loved to have been down there working on the city's behalf 24/7, I do have a city to run up here as well. I think they all became acutely aware of the fact the citizens of Fort Wayne wanted a voice in the decision-making process. And if gaming were to be considered as a form of entertainment for the city of Fort Wayne, our citizens wanted to be involved in that decision-making process. So yes, I think it was very, very beneficial.
So, Mayor Henry, as far as calling the lobbyists an essential part of the strategy, I can't imagine why it wouldn't be included in the answer to an open-ended question, my question several times to Ozzie Nixon over the last, I don't know how many months. What is the city doing at the State House to push this through? And
my guess was
I really truly believe that was dishonesty through omission. That was an open-ended question. You chose to talk about some of the things that the city was doing and not others, and I'm just curious as to why.
Well, I don't believe that his intent was to mislead you at all, because this administration has never attempted to mislead the media. Again, we have prided ourselves in being transparent and open. And again, I was not privy to your conversation with Mr. Midson, but again, I was not privy to those, so I cannot speak for Mr. Midson, but my guess, if you allow me to speculate, is that he simply said that we were working with the delegation.
Which he did, and I said how.
Okay.
And he said that you had asked our local legislators to write something in, period.
Okay.
Do you think that's a complete answer if you have employed almost $38,000 worth of consultants?
Can I ask you a question?
Did I ask, did you employ
Did you ask if we were using?
No.
Okay.
Well, I asked an open-ended question.
Sure. And again, we use a number of consultants and advocates on our behalf, and it's not unusual for a city to use a number of different consultants who specialize in different areas. Much of it is a matter of just doing business. That's part of the business that, you know, the city of Fort Wayne is a $160 million a year business, roughly. We use all the tools that are made available to us. Some of the tools are much larger and much more active than others. But in this particular case, the interpretation probably was that it was just a matter of using what was available to us as part of the standard order of doing business. It's time. I do have Deputy Mayor Purcell, as I mentioned, and our corporate counsel, Mr. Hafner, to continue to answer any questions. Thank you again also very, very much for giving me some of your time and allowing me to update you on our legislature. Thank you.